What's going on, YouTube? This is BBSP, Blue Bolt Sports Observer and Politics. I know I haven't made any videos in a while. It's been like maybe over 2 weeks. Long story short, I've dealt with some personal things in my life that I'm dealing with right now, and I'm trying to settle, and making videos was like secondary with that. And how people go through things in life, whether it be personal or financial or employment wise. I'm just going through that right now, and I apologize for keeping you guys out in the dark and everything as far as making videos. This is going to be a late video right here as far as my brief review of the NBA Finals, where the Los Angeles Lakers beat the Miami Heat 4 games to 2. 17th NBA title, ties the Boston Celtics for the most of all time. LeBron James, the MVP, basically brilliant throughout the series. Anthony Davis right behind him, Anthony Davis right behind him with averaging 25.9 points per game, 7-point rebounds, and right around like maybe 4 blocks. LeBron James, of course, led the way, 28.4 points per game, 8 rebounds per game, and around 9 to maybe 10 assists. I know he almost averaged a triple-double in that series. I know he did, but he was brilliant throughout. Definitely brilliant throughout. Definitely deserved Finals MVP. Played brilliant throughout the series. Played all around. Good game. Got others involved. Played defense. When called upon. He was brilliant. That goes without saying. But Jimmy Butler, he basically stamped his mark in the league in this series. He had 2 incredible games. Games 3, Game 5, basically put the Miami Heat on his back. Definitely put the Miami Heat on his back. And this series this entire playoffs, pretty much established Jimmy Butler as one of the easily now top 10 players in the league. And he put that team on his back throughout the entire playoffs. Me personally, I didn't see Miami Heat getting this far, to be honest with you. I mean, I knew they had a shot. But I always thought that it would be Milwaukee Bucks coming out of the Eastern Conference. But, they outplayed Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Pretty much did the same routine that Milwaukee Bucks did. Toronto Raptors did. 2018, 2019 Eastern Conference Final, basically walled up Giannis, took away his driving points, took away his comfortable zone to the basket, and pretty much dared the others to beat them. And as we can see now, they really couldn't step up when called upon. So, for me, I didn't really see Miami Heat getting this far, to be honest with you. I thought I either had Milwaukee Bucks, Toronto Raptors, or Boston Celtics come out of the Eastern Conference. But Jimmy Butler definitely put his stamp on the league, and definitely established himself as a top 10 player of all time. I mean, when they got to the finals, he pretty much did what he could to win that series. And at one point, I thought, to be honest with you, I thought the Lakers were in trouble because of that. But, playing all minutes, playing all those, doing everything, rebounding, scoring, playing defense. After a while, being as though, too, that they were outgoing Dragic for the majority of the series. Like, he did a lot of heavy lifting, even though Tyler Hero, he had a pretty decent series, though. A couple of games he was off. Duncan Robinson, of course, they lost Bam Adebayo for a couple of games in the finals too. So when you look at it, he had to do that. If he didn't do that, they probably get swept, or the series is over in 5 games. But yeah, Jimmy Butler's stock has risen after these playoffs. All Miami has to do now is get another bona fide all-star. They don't really need another superstar. They just need another all-star to get over the hump. Actually, get over the hump and get back to the finals. Maybe like Bradley Beal, or maybe Victor Oladipo, or maybe possibly Karl Anthony Towns. Maybe Karl Anthony Towns, or somebody though. Really, I don't know what's going on with Karl Anthony Towns. He really hasn't lived up to expectations so far. So that may not be a good fit. Maybe somebody else, maybe possibly a Chris Paul or a Devin Booker, to go and play alongside Jimmy Butler to make them legitimate contenders in the Eastern Conference. They got a bright future ahead of them in the Eastern Conference. You know what I mean? And whether or not they get back to the finals next year, depending on what happens in the offseason, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough right now. It's kind of tough to say, but yeah, they definitely got a bright future here. They definitely got a bright future. You know what I mean? Jimmy Butler established himself as a top 10 player in the league, and if they get another all-star, they're going to be a serious threat for years to come. Definitely a serious threat for years to come. But, I wanted to translate into the whole Michael Jordan, LeBron James GOAT conversation. For me, as you all know, I personally have Jordan as the GOAT. But after these playoffs, after this particular run, I got LeBron James in the conversation. I know some people may not agree with that. Some people may object to that. But looking at what he's done over the course of a 17-year span, to be this good for this long, and to still play at this high level, this is unheard of. The only other player I can even think of that has come close to playing at this level, I mean, you could say Kareem, but Kareem started to show a little bit of, wear, a little bit of, age as he approached 40. So really, Kareem was where? At the center position. The only other player you could think of that was probably this good for this long was maybe Karl Malone. But that's it. But as far as this whole GOAT conversation goes, I'm at a point now where I'm straight up just burned out about the conversation. You got people on both sides that are not going to budge. They're going to defend their guy. They're going to nitpick the other guy's faults. Whether you see both sides of the spectrum. You see people like Nick Wright, who act like LeBron James can't do no wrong. Everything LeBron James does is put on a pedestal. You know what I mean? And it's like, after a while, it just starts to get nerve-wracking, man. You just gotta say, shut the fuck up, And the way that he's like trying to befuddle Michael Jordan's legacy. Michael Jordan acting like he was just a scorer, acting like a whole bunch of bullshit. It's comedy to me, man. Like, he's trying to actually, it's no surprise because he's trying to like smear Michael Jordan's legacy to prop up LeBron, whereas the other side of the spectrum, you got Skip Bayless. No matter what LeBron James does, okay? No matter what LeBron James does, it's never going to be good enough. And he'll make up any type of excuse as to why LeBron won and why Michael Jordan is the end-all and be-all of basketball. See, and the thing about it is, you got people out here that's actually like that. Actually it's both sides of the spectrum. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm gonna get into a video possibly later on as to respond to the whole bullshit about Nick Ryan and Jordan playing in the weak Eastern Conference, and he was a loser before Pippen, before Scottie Pippen. I'm gonna respond to that bullshit later on in a later video. But like I said, man, like I'm pretty much numb to the whole conversation right now. For me, LeBron James went a long way for his legacy. Went a long way for his reputation in the league. I mean, 4-6 in the finals. I mean, even back then, we didn't have players. We haven't judged them by the finals record. You understand me? And it was like you were celebrated as a team. Championships were celebrated as a team accomplishment. Okay, and there's all this personalization of finals records, personalization of rings. That didn't come. That didn't come until the whole Michael Jordan phenomenon came. And I'm saying this as a big Jordan fan. You didn't see the recount until Michael Jordan came into the NBA, and then the media got swooped up into it, and then the fans ran with it and shit and judged it by greatness, which I feel like is bullshit. You understand? And you got everybody in the media that's like, for whatever reason, is taking Skip Bayless's stance. Goddamn Ron Parker out here saying that LeBron James so-called cheated the game and don't deserve to be on the Mount Rushmore of great players. And basically took the easy way out because he switched teams. Whatever. Well, if you're going to penalize LeBron for doing that, you might as well penalize every other player in NBA history because there's not another player in NBA history that switched teams, okay? Wilt Chamberlain went from the 76ers to the Lakers, okay? So because he switched teams, we should penalize him, right? What about Kareem? Spent all that team, Milwaukee. He was with Milwaukee the first 7 years of his career, right? And thing is, you're not going to discredit Kareem's legacy, right? You're not going to discredit Kareem's career. What about Shaq? Shaq spent only 4 years in Orlando, okay? I know this because I was an Orlando Magic fan back then. I was a fan of that team. And I was crushed when he left, you know? He only spent 4 years with an organization, did the same thing LeBron James did, left the free agency. But yet, I don't hear anybody giving him flack. I don't hear anybody giving him shit, right? So, like I said, man, you got everybody on the opposite end of the spectrum giving bullshit takes. Everybody. Skip Bayless, Nick Wright, Rob Parker, remember the Shannon Sharpe. I really don't put Shannon Sharpe in that category because he plays a role, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I don't think he really thinks LeBron James is the GOAT, but because he has a close relationship with LeBron's people, or within LeBron supposedly, and he's playing a character basically to antagonize Skip. That whole thing right there, I'm telling you right now, that whole thing is staged. That whole thing is, they're the actors. And it all started with ESPN First Take way back when it was actually cold pizza. But yeah, I'm getting off topic here, man. Like, straight up, thing for me, I appreciate both players. I appreciate what Michael Jordan brought to the table in the 80s and 90s, up until his era, till he won his last championship in 1998. And I'm appreciating what LeBron's doing now. I'm embracing what LeBron's doing right now, And you got all these people within the media that's fighting, tooth and nail, and they gnaw on straws as to make their arguments legit. and it's just it's starting to get nerve-wracking to me, man. It's starting to get, starting becoming pain in the ass for me as somebody who's watched the game religiously, knows the history of the game. It's starting to get nerve-wracking. Like, you see all these clowns in the media that they give their so-called opinion on what is the GOAT and who is the GOAT, whatever. But yet, they cake for their guy, they dick ride their guy a little too much, to the point where people get sick of it. People get sick and tired of it. Like I said before, you had Nick Wright making up bullshit about Jordan's career, which is flat out bullshit. Then, of course, you got Rob Parker and Skip Bayless, who, no matter what LeBron James does, they gonna shit on it. They're gonna shit on it and say, oh, the shit don't count, oh, he cheated the game, or it was rigged. But I bet you if either Miami Heat upset the Los Angeles Lakers, or if the LA Clippers end up winning the championship, they'd be the first people to shit on LeBron and saying, I told you so. And all the 3-7 jokes or whatever, he can't win in the West bullshit will be coming about. But because the Lakers won the championship, they got all the excuses in the world, and they trying to hold on to an argument that's getting old at this point. That's getting washed up. And a washed up argument that's getting old. And because that's all they can hold on to. And nobody's buying the bullshit. But like I said, at the end of the day, I feel like both guys, Michael Jordan and LeBron James, is all elite. They're both all-time greats. Michael Jordan is still the GOAT for me. But LeBron James is in the conversation. And before we forget, I very rarely hear these clowns in the media give their proper respect to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, man. Because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he definitely has a case for the greatest of all time. But because he was aloof, because, he wasn't in the media all that much, and particularly he didn't get along with the media, namely Skip Bayless, who basically called out Kareem back in the article back in 1983, basically chastising him and criticizing him for his blackness. But, like I said before, a lot of these clowns, I very rarely hear them talk about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the GOAT conversation. The man won in Powell Memorial in high school in Long Island, New York. Went to UCLA, won a couple national championships. That broke every record imaginable in the NBA, all the while winning 6 championships. But yet, he always gets overlooked. But clowns in the media and clowns here on YouTube are buying into the narrative that only LeBron James and Michael Jordan can be in a conversation. Hell, you can make a case for Wilt Chamberlain and in some aspects, Irvin Magic Johnson. But like I said, man, I'm so over this GOAT argument, GOAT debate. At the end of the day, I appreciate both players and what they brought to the table, including Kareem, including Magic, Wilt, even the people who are in the conversation at some point, but they're not people like Shaq, Tim Duncan, Larry Bird, Kobe Bryant, Bill Russell, Hakeem Olajuwon, Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, Moses Malone, Dr. J. Julius Evans, even guys like today, like Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Greek freak, you name that shit. But end of the day, man, like, I'm a fan of the game. I'm a fan of history of the basketball, and I'll always be a fan of the game. And I'm not gonna let my biasness get in the way of actually what the hell is going on. See, the media wouldn't like me. The media wouldn't tolerate me. If I was on a show like goddamn First Take or a show like goddamn Fox, they wouldn't tolerate me. They wouldn't get rid of me. They wouldn't like my presence because I'd be, I'd be catching on. I would be catching on to their bullshit. Trust me, I would. Trust me, I would. But that's all. Wanted to get at you, everybody, see what everybody think. But let me know what y'all think later.